All right, welcome back to my channel. If you know who I am, you know what I talk about, you know what I do. If you don't know who I am a content creator that likes to react to shit, whether that be basketball, I get my basketball insight, modern day NBA, and also YouTube, TikTok, brain rot bullshit. So if you're into that as well, I'm the guy for you. So with that out the way, we got a basketball video. Today we're going to be reacting to Thinking Basketballs, how a podcaster solved Nikola Jokić. Let's pop off.
A stat on Jokic last year, and I don't know the exact number, but in the finals, in the finals versus Miami, he shot like 70% from the free throw line in.
JJ Redick might have just devised the best defensive game plan ever created against Nikola Jokić. In the 2023 Western Conference Finals, the Lakers found some success by sticking a forward on Jokić and allowing Anthony Davis to roam off behind him and help. But that only did so much against the Denver Machine that swept them en route to a title. So Redick borrowed that with Rui Hachimura starting on Joker and Jackson Hayes roaming off Aaron Gordon. And to start this game, this looked like the same movie we've seen before with nothing really new. Even a minute later, no one wants to get sealed on the fast break by Joker, so Rui's fighting to deny the entry pass, and this all looks fairly ordinary. But the next possession caught my eye. There was an off-ball foul that we couldn't really see live, but Hachimura is driving Jokić outside the free throw line and trying to impede his movement. And so, what do you do when someone shoots 74% inside 15 feet and is a near-perfect passer in those spots? You don't let him catch the ball inside 15 feet. Rui pushes out.
This is actually extremely smart. This is actually extremely smart by JJ. I like that they made Jokić their main priority in this game, because I know that can be dangerous. That can be dangerous. Because he can just always find these open passes. But they left Gordon open a few times. So, like, if you're going to kill us from three, kill us from three. We don't care. But as far as, like, Jokić, I liked JJ's game plan as far as what he did against him. And not only that, I think that JJ is a good coach. I know that he was getting a lot of flack, especially after doing a podcast with LeBron, and everybody's saying this is LeBron's hiring. I get all that, but I think JJ has proved that he earned his stripes. JJ is a smart guy. If you actually sit there and listen to LeBron and JJ's podcast and talk basketball, there's a reason why I wanted to react to that on one of my first videos, but there's a reason why I didn't do it, because it's just so analytical. You have two basketball minds just straight talking basketball. It's like listening to two quantum scientists talk about quantum theory. Like, you may be interested in it, but even if you know it, it's some of it's gonna go over your head, because it's just it's ball. They're talking ball, straight ball. And I respect JJ's mind, and I think he did a good job, especially against the Nuggets. Now we gotta see what happens in the future in the next few games, but I think it showed, even with Luka on the floor, they're able to keep a strong defensive presence, and it shows in the numbers, because in the last 20 games, they've been the third best defensive team in the league. So, behind the Oklahoma City Thunder and behind the Celtics.
Out his catch, they actually switch, but only to front and deny, knowing a roamer's on the backside. The second Gordon gets it, LeBron switches to play the pass, then good old Luka Doncic uses his length, and that's a great defensive possession. Hachimura picks up Jokić at midcourt chest to chest, trying to make his movement difficult and keep Joker away from the basket, and that takes him away from his scoring spots. Now, another element here is the Lakers would switch Jokić screens, but note the technique. LeBron jams to front him because Hayes is roaming on the backside, ignoring Aaron Gordon, and LA rotates nicely, but with LeBron lingering, the Nuggets need better spacing here to free up Murray or Michael Porter Jr., and this is Joker's first normal post-up, and they get a solid shot out of it. So part one of the game plan is keep Joker away from the hoop. Part two is to front and deny the pass when he's below the foul line, and part three is to dare people to shoot. They get it to him on the elbow this time. Hayes and Luka are just clogging the paint here, entirely conceding the three to Gordon, who actually went 4 for 7 on these. Although this does...
Yeah, but how often is Gordon going to go 4 for 7? How often is Gordon going to actually be on fire from the three? And Gordon actually played good from the three-point line, and the Lakers were still able to win by 20. JJ Redick, Coach of the Year, if they get the top 3 seed, maybe. If they get the top 3 seed, maybe. I see it being kind of difficult, considering you have Oklahoma playing the way that they're playing. And Missoula, as weird as he can be. But at the end of the day, I do think it's one of those things where it's like, if you remember like Westbrook's season where he won a triple-double, and even though, he wasn't seeded highly with the Oklahoma City Thunder, he won the MVP by averaging a triple-double. I think it could be similar to that, where it's like, listen, the Lakers are a top 3 seed, and this is the first time head coach. I understand that they're not 1 or 2, and they can't catch 1 or 2. They might be able to catch 2, but they're definitely not catching 1. So it's one of those things where it's like JJ has shown that he's able to take this team and make them great, especially with new pieces coming in, and have a very good defensive-minded team as well that started off bad defensively and just picked itself up afterwards, even with new pieces coming and pieces going. So yeah, it can be a conversation. I don't see it happening, but I can understand the sentiment.
Doesn't quite work the same with Hayes on Jokić instead, because Rui isn't long enough off ball or a natural shot blocker. But with Hayes roaming off Gordon, he can clog up the paint for cutters in exchange for open threes, and that's a great rebound from a 40-year-old. It got really interesting when LA went small without Hayes. Jokić gets nice position again, Reeves doubles on the baseline, everyone pulls in to protect the paint, and again, Gordon is dared to shoot, and this is the exact setup Redick and LeBron discussed on their podcast last year when having a conversation about defending Jokić.
Yep.
He knew getting that guy over there would make you have to make the tough decision.
Yep.
Do I help on his spin? Do I let him score?
Yep.
Do I stay home on Aaron Gordon?
Only the Nuggets have their personnel backwards this time. They want Porter in the corner shooting so Gordon can roam the baseline as a lob threat. When the Lakers are small, they have very little rim protection, so they have to keep teams out of the paint. Jokić gets deep and they get a good shot, and so LA used its speed and agility here. Dorian Finney-Smith switches onto Jokić, then beats him to the spot to deny the pass. LeBron's on the backside, and James actually doubles Joker off ball. Gordon wisely sets a screen, and when Rui can't fight over, it's a great look for Denver.
One of the things about JJ, I know I'm glazing him a little bit in here, but I mean, he should be glazed. He's doing good. But one of the things I want to say about JJ Redick, especially the Lakers just in general, I know that they don't have many bigs as per se, as other teams may have, but it's one of those things that, you make lemons out of lemonade. You do what you can do with what you have, right? Like, they're a great defensive team. Their defensive rating is 13th overall. I get that. But if you look up in the last 20 games, because we did before, I'll do it, because I never want to speak out my ass to you guys. I did a video on this before, but if you guys haven't seen that video, you probably haven't seen it, so I can just go back to my history. I gotta be careful with my history. Some crazy things might pop up here. No, I'm just kidding. Los Angeles, best defensive ratings. So yeah, the Lakers have been the 3rd best defensive team in the league for the last 20 games. And keep in mind that Anthony Davis has not played most of these games, and they held the Nuggets to 100 points, and the Nuggets were averaging 128. So it's one of those things where you look at, right, and it's like, okay, so they may not have a lot of bigs, and they're definitely a smaller team, but what comes with being a smaller team? Being a faster team. So if you're fast, use what you have. Use your strengths to cover up your faults. And that's what JJ is doing. He's using the strength. He's not just sitting there crying and being like, oh, we're not able to do this. We can't do it. He's saying, hey, at the end of the day, I know what the strengths are of this team that I have. I'm going to use those strengths to try to mitigate the strengths of the other team. If their strength is Jokić, and if you can shut him down, you're going to have a good day any day. Make the team beat you. You may still lose by the Nuggets because they still got a good roster around them. But if you end up losing to the Nuggets, it's going to be because everyone else beats you, not Jokić. So I like that plan. I like the game plan so far. And I liked how JJ has been coaching this team.
The Lakers doubled Jokić like this off the ball a ton. Rui and LeBron sandwich him here, and they leave Christian Brown on full dare mode. They did the same thing to Russell Westbrook at times during the game, baiting him into 17 field goal attempts on a night where Joker took just 7. And on this possession, they sent the entire team at him. First with Hachimura limiting his movement, then Reeves blocking his path. Then they basically triple team him off ball by sagging off Westbrook. They keep 3 guys on him with a wall, and by then the Nuggets are stuck, and that might be the craziest defensive possession I've seen since the 1957 National Championship game, when North Carolina swarmed Wilt Chamberlain like this so he couldn't catch it, daring his teammates to hit outside shots. Speaking of crazy, Jared Vanderbilt took the game plan as a personal challenge, jumping Julian Strawther for a steal right after he entered the game in the first. Then, 30 seconds later, he played bumper cars with Jokić in the backcourt. You can see Joker's frustration, and then he's called for the offensive foul with that little elbow. And on the next possession, Joker's already had enough. And when they get down the floor, Westbrook tries to sneak it over the top, but Vando forces his third turnover in about a minute. And while we're on this, he then drew a flagrant foul on the rebound at the other end, which just set up another full court dance with Jokić, where he harassed him until finally going full Rodman with the impede then fall down maneuver. And I haven't seen this level of full court harassment since the 98.
I told you guys before. I talked about Vanderbilt. I talked about him. I understand that he's been injured more than he's been playing. I said when he comes back, he's going to be good. And he came back, and he's been great. Like, I'm sorry, but the defensive energy that the Lakers have is just this, like, newfound youth. I said it in my one of my last videos. I talked about the passion, right, that the Lakers have and they're playing with. I don't like using words like passion. I mean, I'm literally watching a Thinking Basketball video, right? But it's one of those things, like, you're watching this, and it's just the energy is there. The defensive mind is there. Like, the passion to play is there. I like the comments that Lucas said that, hey, we're going for a championship. This season ain't a wash for us. Now, I don't know how much I believe that. I gotta see how the Lakers play in the next few games. But it's one of those things that you want coming from your players. It's like, hey, we're going for it. We don't care what the media's saying. We don't care what people think. We're going for it. And they're showing we can beat any team on any day. We can beat the best of them. If we play at our best, no one can stop us, and they showed that. So it's going to be interesting what the Lakers can do moving forward. Again, I'll get my full feeling on them after I see these next 4 games that they face. 2 games against the Clippers, 1 against the Timberwolves, and 1 against the Mavericks. I need to see how they play against them, but you know what? They're going to be dangerous. I know that for a fact. Even if they play okay against these next 4 games, even if they go like 2-2, they're still going to be dangerous. But if they go like 3-1, oh shit.
Finals when Dennis entangled himself with Karl Malone, judo style. The Lakers basically won this game by forcing 20 Nugget turnovers, 6 from Jokić himself, and 5 more trying to get him the ball. That's a nice effort by Doncic to fight for transition position. And on this one, Finney-Smith switches and is already trying to swim around in front because he knows he has that roamer behind him to help in the paint. LeBron's fronting Jokić, so you know he's below the foul line. That pushes the catch outside the three-point line. On the back down, they send a triple team, and Westbrook can't handle the tight pass. And the Lakers scored a whopping 39 points off turnovers in this game to Denver's 11, and that transition from defense to offense was a huge key to this victory, where it helps to have someone like LeBron James flying down the floor on the break. The Nuggets tried a few counters.
Yeah, the Nuggets' transition defense is really bad. It's really bad. It needs to be addressed. They really need to talk about it because I think the transition defense, as far as the Nuggets have, it's not going to help them if you're telling me this team is looking for a championship. If you're telling me that they have enough, sure. If you're telling me that Jokić is a big, not a big, just like a big guy, but just like a big, as far as like NBA talent, oh, absolutely. But if you're telling me that they have more than enough to win a championship right now, I don't believe you because I just don't trust that they have enough as far as that transition defense goes, which is kind of weird because you would think they have the speed, but that transition defense, dog, it's atrocious.
Having Jokić initiate and receive a high screen from a guard, and that one led to free throws. And they also had the guard screen off ball for Joker, but the Lakers jumped him with multiple defenders, and then James is still very tall and provides some rare rim protection. Denver actually went back to this with a wrinkle, having Jokić set the screen only for Brown to turn and screen for him, and that confused Gabe Vincent briefly and led to a deep catch and a foul. But when the Nuggets came back to it in the fourth, LeBron wasn't falling for it, tethering himself to Jokić, then fronting any post ideas, then switching on to Murray so Finney-Smith could front.
Guys. LeBron doesn't play defense. Guys. LeBron doesn't play defense.
To it in the
LeBron
fourth,
doesn't try.
LeBron wasn't
LeBron
falling for
defense.
it, tethering himself to
LeBron
Jokić,
doesn't play
then
defense.
fronting any post ideas, then switching on to Murray so Finney-Smith could front
doesn't play
Joker.
defense.
Meanwhile, Hayes has Gordon on ignore, so he clogs up the...
Yeah, I'm just saying. I watched this game, so I saw this. I talked about this. It's just frustrating because, like, I was reacting to a basketball creator who doesn't watch basketball. Crazy. Talking about how LeBron actually, he doesn't have any type of defensive energy whatsoever, and, you know, they're going to just give up points left and right because LeBron doesn't try. But as we can see, he does. And I watched this game. This was LeBron's energy the entire game.
The drive, and that epitomized this game plan in spite of that make. Last year, JJ and LeBron were discussing our model of athleticism while talking about defending Joker.
So cognitive side of it is pattern recognition, spatial awareness, which is court mapping,
Yep.
anticipation, cognitive load, mental bandwidth, essentially your processing speed, right?
Yep.
And it was his definition of court mapping that caught my eye, because it's about where the empty space is and how it can be exploited. And LA's game plan here was about eating up that empty space. Space for Joker to cut and move into, and space for his teammates to move into while conceding stationary outside shots. Now, Denver can make more adjustments here, like backcourt screens to spring Jokić, or having him bring it up, or just adjusting the spacing on certain actions for better outlets. So this isn't a foolproof blueprint, but it's a proof of concept for the Lakers' small ball defense that's going to have to swarm with speed and strength to overcome its lack of height and paint protection. And at least for one night, a game plan that started a year ago with two podcasters drinking some wine actually solved Nikola Jokić. We have more videos like...
That was a good video. I always love thinking basketball. I watch a couple of his videos like on my free time when I'm bored. Like, this shit is very interesting. I definitely suggest this guy. But nonetheless, when it comes to the Lakers, yeah, I understand that a full series matters. Is Jokic going to be held like this every single game? Probably not. But it's one of those things I got to see in action. I got to see the Lakers face the Nuggets. I got to see it in the playoffs. But if you're telling me that the Lakers are going to continue to play this way, they're going to continue to play with this defensive energy. They're going to continue to play with just energy in general. They're going to continue to play with this passion. They're going to continue to play with effort, second chance efforts, running the floor, full court pressing, then I will go ahead and say this is something to look at. The Lakers may do it, but I got to see. The reason these 4 games matter is because it's decent teams. I understand that the Lakers are not going to play with this intensity every single game, you know? Still got a decent amount of games left in the season. But at the end of the day, if they want it, and if I see it, I'll call it out. And if the playoffs come and they're playing like this, they're going to be a scary team for anyone to face. So that was a good video. I liked it. If you guys like my commentary, you like this guy's commentary, let me know if there's anything else you want me to react to. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about, and I'll go ahead and do that. With that being said, love you guys. Have a good one. Please let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. And like and subscribe. Until next time, friends. Be safe. Deuces.